It doesn't surprise me, as somebody who believes in a kind and loving God, it doesn't surprise me one little bit that since God does want a man and a woman to be married to one another and to be dedicated to one another and to their children, that he should provide as a blessing or as a benefit to those who fulfill his wishes in that area, that he should provide them with a blessing of great sensual pleasure. It doesn't shock me. This doesn't surprise me in any way at all. Does God want us to be rich? I have the same answer. To tell you the truth, I can't say with any certainty on that subject. However, I do know that God does want us to be obsessively preoccupied with the needs and desires of other people. Whether they're your clients or your customers, whether they're your vendors or your employees, be obsessively preoccupied with the needs of other people. And it shouldn't surprise anybody who believes in a loving deity that the result of that is the great blessing of prosperity and wealth. Surely, the ultimate way to achieve prosperity, become obsessively preoccupied with the needs of other people. Do not insist on making buggy whips while Henry Ford is building a car down the road. Because now you're not focused on what other people need or want, you're focused on what you want to do. And this is, again, one of the principles that has been very helpful to Jews over the years, and that is recognizing that the advice you sometimes get when you're graduating high school, when you're graduating college, or at different stages of your life, people sometimes say to you, the important thing in life is to find a job that you really love. Go and work in an area that you've really got passion for. Wrong. Sounds very nice, but it's wrong. It's wrong because it's selfish. What it's saying is, I want to make a living doing what I like doing. You're missing the point. This isn't about the money. It's about your relationship with other people. You've got to find what other people need and want, and then learn how to get passionate about supplying it. The passion follows what needs doing. You don't need to do what you're already passionate about. For those few lucky people who are able to synthesize from day one, that's a blessing. That's wonderful. For most of the rest of us, prosperity is the result of building relationships first. And that, of course, is the answer to one of the big questions, which is Abraham was a pretty cool guy. I mean, to this day, we speak of, the monotheistic religions that flows from Abraham. It's very nice. And but how come the children of Israel's just another name for Jacob, Abraham's grandson, but how come the Jewish people or the Israelites, how come they didn't start with Abraham? We could have been the children of Abraham. Or we could have been the Abramites. Just a neat name. What's wrong with that? What do we have to be the Israelites for? Well, because God wasn't ready to start a people with Abraham. There was a little bit of a problem there. One of the problems was that Abraham was not able to convey the sense of dedication and obsession with what your brother or sister need to his own children. Isaac and Ishmael had slight misunderstandings along the way. Well, Abraham had, at least one great son, Isaac. Why don't we have the Jewish people starting off with Isaac? No, it didn't work either, because Isaac also had two sons, Jacob and Esau. Slight disagreement there over a transaction, by the way. One of them thought a contract meant a contract, the other didn't. Jacob purchased the birthright solemnly by means of a contract for the payment of some food. And later on, Esau said, I didn't know you meant it for real. Well, pal, that's what a contract means. That's why the Old Testament is filled with contractual relationships, because contracts are wonderful things. They make relationships between people thrive and flower. They're good things. Didn't work with Isaac. Now we come to Jacob, whose other name was Israel. Now Jacob has 12 sons, one of whom is Joseph. Joseph upsets his brothers for a variety of reasons. And the brothers gather to kill him. And they're about to slaughter him when main son, Judah, after whom the word Judaism comes, Judah makes this profound statement. He gathers the men around and he says to his brothers, hey, wait a sec, we're just about to kill Joseph, but help me understand this again. How do you make a buck from selling your brother, from killing your brother? In Hebrew, where's the profit? Meaning monetary profit in killing our brother. So all the brothers surround saying, well, let's see, who can we get to pay us for the carcass? No, I guess nobody will do that. Wait a second, I got it. Instead of killing him, why didn't we sell him? Oh, yeah, that's how you make a profit off your brother. So they sell him, and everybody's happy. Except Joseph, of course. As time goes by, Joseph becomes ruler of Egypt. The brothers come down in a famine to buy bread. They don't know who this guy is. And he recognizes them, gives them all the bread they want, and then instructs his officers to do what? Some of you may remember, put the money back in the bag. The brothers that night arrive in a hotel. They open their bag to see they got enough food to take home to dad, and everyone sees his money on the top of the bag. Total terror. We're being set up. They're going to accuse us of theft. The brothers didn't get the message. You know what the message is? It's not about the money, idiots. It's about the relationship. We've got to fix you guys up. You thought relationships are there to be squandered in the name of profit. And you don't understand. It's the other way around. Relationships produce profit. And so we're going to have to show you it's not about the money. It's about the relationships. And it's not until the brothers catch on to that we're able to actually reach the point where Jacob is finally able to come to Egypt and be reconciled with all his sons and to give a blessing to his grandsons. And there begins the children of Israel. And that's exactly how it worked back then. Because relationships depend on the uniqueness of every human being. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, if you've got a friend is really nice. You have a friend, and if nothing else, you can tell that friend a joke, because it's just fun to tell people jokes. That's all there is to it, particularly if they laugh. But if all of us were identical, and your friend is identical to you, that means we're just clones of one another. As soon as you tell him a joke, his answer is, hey, stop, I've already heard that one, I know it. In fact, I was going to tell it to you. Oh, okay. How about this one? No, that one also. I'm the same as you, remember? Not only could there be no joke telling among people who are not unique, there would also be no trading. There can be no commerce among people who are identical to one another. If people are not unique, no trading, no telling jokes. It is only through our uniqueness. It is only because I would rather have a pair of sneakers with a red light in the heel that flashes when I walk than $20. And if you're the shoe store in the mall, you'd rather have $20 than your inventory of a pair of sneakers with a red flashing light. But if we were identical, and that's one of the reasons you never see dogs trading with one another. No dog says, well, I see we both want this bone. Tell you what, why don't you take the bone now, and then you can do something else for me tomorrow? No, because we're dogs. We both want the bone now. It's all we see. The world is just one big bone taking up our total eyeballs. That's all there is. It is precisely the uniqueness that makes it possible. The uniqueness is what? Well, that's what being created in God's image actually means. It means each and every one of us is as unique. Monotheism. We recognize God as this unique being. And so similarly, if we're created in the image of God, then each and every one of us is unique. And there's one other similarity. We are also able to create things just like God. We're able to create. We are not, I always resent it when we're called consumers in the textbooks. I'm not a consumer. And if we were all consumers, there wouldn't be roads, sewerage systems, and museums. Those things only exist because we create more than we consume. So we are net creators, not consumers. This is not a validation of confiscatory rates of taxation. And so we find invariably, in societies that are capable of building and creating wealth, those societies also are committed to the idea of the uniqueness of the human being. By the way, another way of saying the uniqueness of the human being is freedom. The freedom to each and everybody to be unique, to be your own person, with your own desires and drives and goals. Conversely, those societies that are incapable of creating wealth, the socialist model, invariably insist that all human beings are the same. Have you ever seen what government housing looks like? Whether it's in Moscow or Chicago makes absolutely no difference. You will all stay in exactly the same type of house, and don't you dare think of painting your front door purple. You'll have the government on you. Have you noticed that folks who subscribe to the worldview of zero wealth creation, but just moving wealth around, they like public transport. They hate the motor car. And they are furiously and ferociously and stubbornly insisting on getting every American into a bus or a light rail system, regardless of the fact that in virtually every major city in America, you can take a look at light rail systems going by empty with not a soul inside them. It doesn't matter. You will learn, because we will make the alternative impossible. You are all identical to one another. Which brings us to the point that there really are only two models for human organization. I'm not counting tribalism. It is true that tribalism is a way you can live. It's not exactly a way of organizing, because nobody organizes tribal societies. They just are extended families. And so 3,500 rulers and bureaucrats and political power brokers in Saudi Arabia are all cousins of one another. The tribal system, by and large, has not yet figured out how to build a bicycle. And so I discount the tribal system as a really great way of organizing human beings. But that leaves two ways of organizing human beings that really do work. One of them is the Abrahamic model. And that is the model subscribed to by the founding fathers of the United States of America. The idea that there are two aspects of life, the unchangeable and the must change. There is the system of immutable values within which framework it is possible to generate the kinds of behaviors and characteristics that create wealth. And then there's another set of life, there's another aspect of life in which things must change all the time. Think of it as the spiritual and the material. Schumpeter's creative destruction, the idea that yesterday's economic model, if it doesn't get destroyed today, it'll get destroyed tomorrow. It is going to go. It's painful for everyone when it happens, but it gives birth to a completely new beginning. It is the caterpillar going into the cocoon and the butterfly coming out. That particular understanding that our fundamental values underpin and provide a matrix of security for an economic system that depends on the principle that everything must change constantly. And the faster you change and the faster you adapt, the more you will be blessed with reward, monetary reward, prosperity and wealth. That's the idea, but it only works within a framework of the unchangeable.